Be such a stain on the system in this country that I certainly hope there will be enough pressure and realization how devastating it would be for this country if somehow the judges would come to the decision of reversing the Magistrate Court decision.
Well, let's cross then to London. We're going to speak to our correspondent Bénédicte Paviot, who joins us from there. So, Bénédicte, there's real pressure, isn't there, on the British courts to reverse this earlier decision from the US?
Well, this is the never-ending, almost, legal battle, and it's yet another step, yet another appeal in this long fight from the US to get Julian Assange, the co-founder of WikiLeaks, to be extradited to the United States for what they consider are serious crimes, these publications of these highly confidential, highly sensitive documents, intelligence documents. Let's remember, this has never been done before. And it was WikiLeaks and Julian Assange who was absolutely world headlines. And as somebody who's been covering it for 11 years all along this battle, here we are again. Today, it's going to be the High Court. It's a two-day hearing. We expect to hear the US arguments as to why Julian Assange should be extradited to the United States. And then tomorrow, we will hear the defense of Julian Assange arguing that their client should absolutely not be extradited. Of course, this appeal is about the 4th of January decision by Judge Vanessa Barreza, who, although she agreed on the substance of the extradition request by the United States for Julian Assange to go to the US, she blocked that extradition, effectively gave a red card to that extradition because she said he was a suicide risk. So this was on mental health grounds. And that is what is going to play out yet again in yet another British court today. But we don't expect an immediate decision. It could take 4 to 6 weeks before we find out how she rules and whether she reverses the judge reverses the 4th of January decision, grants an extradition or not. Meanwhile, Julian Assange is in Belmarsh prison. He's been there for 2.5 years since he was expelled from the Ecuadorian embassy where he'd taken refuge and jumped bail.
Bénédicte, I heard you mention that 11 years there. I mean, why on earth does this still matter? I mean, the main WikiLeaks leaks that the US is so concerned about, as you say, happened such a long time ago now.
It matters because of the precedent. I think it's very much the Department of Justice position on this, that it was unprecedented. You could press a button and suddenly, thanks to the internet, you could publish this. Julian Assange sees himself as a publisher, as a journalist, and you've got, on the one hand, the United States saying this is unforgivable, this must be prosecuted, there must be a punishment. Indeed, Julian Assange, we're told, if extradited, if he were to be found guilty of the 18 charges that are laid against him, counts outlined in the superseding indictment by the US, he risks 175 years in jail, up to 175 years in prison, we're told. But you've got countless press freedom, civil liberties and international human rights organizations, also journalists organizations around the world, saying that actually really asking the Department of Justice and President Biden to release this whole case, to stop this whole case, to drop it, because they say that this is just not acceptable, not founded, and that therefore this matters for the future of press freedom around the world. This would create a precedent. So a lot to be fighting for. And as I said, meanwhile, Julian Assange continues to be in Belmarsh prison. And it doesn't look like this legal battle is going to end anytime soon. We'll be there. We'll be outside the court later on today, and we will see what developments, what new developments, what game changers there are.
Bénédicte, thanks very much. Bénédicte Paviot there, our correspondent. As she says, more from her later in the day.